PSG take the rift up against SEM9, the favorites right now. PSG in pole position, sitting tied in first place up against a struggling SEM9, currently in 9th. Yet to find a victory up against them. Last time they went the distance though in 35 minutes. Let's see if this result will be any different.
Yeah, 35 minutes is the time to beat. They've certainly picked the comp to do it. They've got a lot of early game threat here. Actually, get the ward as well. That's GG right there.
Oh, is it as easy as that?
Easy as that.
Yeah, you won the ward battle?
Yeah, 1 CS lead for Yubao already.
And then now you've got the XP lead, now you're going to take over. Suddenly, you know, you got a full YouTube video built out of that one. Look how XP hacked this.
I've seen it all before. Actually got the Ultimate Hunter on Calumnia, which is kind of interesting. I think, yeah, maybe, I mean, I kind of like it if you're going Electrocute, but I think it's kind of weird to take here. I feel like if you are going that kind of solo AP Ari build, you know, like you're saying, something like the Electrocute, perhaps some scaling as well with like Absolute Focus Gathering Storm.
Yeah.
Could be the way to go, but instead is, you know, playing the more utility Ari and as solo AP. Unfortunately, you know, I think Ari is geared more towards the utility, right? You're not really expecting her to be that damage threat, but I kind of think she needs to be, at least in this game. But bot lane already, you know, starting to get quite aggressive, pushing this wave in nice and early, making sure to line up the Q on the creep wave, as well as try and poke YJY with it as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit of a 2-for-1 special in that regard there. Okay, well, Columbia was going to go for a little bit of a cheeky invade, decides against it in the end. Didn't have a ward available, but wanted to see maybe where the jungler was. As we know, Jinjie is on, in fact, on that red buff. So we're starting to see really what happens in this bot lane, right? You are just going to naturally push on through. It only really gets worse, right? With a binding, a trap, and just a bunch of headshot damage.
Yeah, and I think both junglers will be in the area, right? Like both junglers doing 3 camps and then potentially can enter bot river before going topside. And I think you almost have to do that just to kind of protect this early gank. That being said, looks like the junglers now are moving away. We'll probably just like look to path back up. There's been no heavy trading. Like I think this is one of those lanes where if people are on low HP, like really low HP, you kind of have to be here. But if there's not too much trading going down, then you can afford to just path to the top side, which both junglers are. And I think that's actually better for Caitlyn Lux almost. You know, just having both junglers on the opposite side of the map, and you just get to play a purely isolated 2v2. Does feel pretty good. Oh, potentially a 3-man top. Yubao has priority. They have a stacked top wave. This is a Direwolves 2020 Classic.
This is absolutely beautiful right now. So many flashes being burnt there, but Relia still survives. Fear is in the area, but Yubao was going to remind him that, hey, this is never going to be a fair fight with numbers advantage favoring us, and that's a massive wave that's going to crash. Obviously, Relia can just TP back to this wave, but it doesn't look anywhere near better in the bot lane, right? Still, turret is under siege. Minions are pressuring.
Yeah, really nice move there from Yubao. Uses that mid priority to just threaten top, and already you can kind of see what that's led to, right? CS lead in top has already been built. Obviously does suffer a little bit of mid CS and mid priority as a result, but can Calumnia really pressure bot? Don't really think so. Just gonna show here. Needs to be careful how long he spends here though, and we'll go back mid.
Yeah, just a full drive-by. Really unfortunate timing, actually, with the ward expiring in that bot tri-bush, right? Maybe would have had an angle, just how pushed up Wako and Woody were, but the timing just did not seem to favor him. So that's what you like to see, though. I'd love to see Calumnia continue to try and find answers like that, or at least movements, because you know that Yubao is going to be doing that on cooldown.
100% now. Big trades coming down bot lane. Yeah, Woody actually goes pretty low. Has the pot ticking, though. It's not the end of the world. Although, yeah, actually kind of impressive from S9 to be able to regain control. Now, Yubao is in the bot lane again. Doesn't show an award. And I think maybe Calumnia thinks Yubao's based, but is actually nearby. Now, Cleanse is up and available for YJY. Yeah, I think he will just commit to the recall. Is spotted out as well.
It's taking a little bit too long to return to mid lane, right? TP wasn't used. Spidey senses sensing that, hey, yep, something's not right here. Why is this Rise not there? Woody is so low. And I mean, S9 are holding their own in the spot lane.
Yeah, I think more than holding their own. They're actually getting the better of them right now. And Fear in the area, I think Woody may be in trouble. Those is spotted out by Ginger. Will he go for it? No, he won't. I mean, yeah, I actually think S9 are kind of outlaning them at the moment, which is really impressive, right? Because I think PSG's bot lane like you said, they're probably one of the best, if not the best, bot lane in the league right now. Or perhaps S9's bot lane is the best one in the league.
Maybe after today, I mean, just chuck out the resume, right? You know, it's always recency bias is what we're going to go off. But yeah, as it stands, I mean, however strong it was for the first 5 minutes there for Wako and Woody, it just feels like one bad trade, a bit of retaliation has gone against them. And yeah, YJY and Carries have found their footing to try and answer back. But yeah, it really has all been about these mid laners and their ability to crash a wave, rotate elsewhere, and see what they can find. And once again, Yubao is on the Great Roam.
Yeah, and I think one thing worth mentioning is that despite, you know, the bot lane trades kind of going in the way of S9, it's ultimately Wako who bases with the CS lead and probably will have the better item. Yubao goes for the ult top.
All in on this one. Remember, no flash. There's a flash from Keris. Summon the heal. Oh my god, one rogue auto attack from Arise of all people. And that's all Shiro. That's phenomenal for First Blood.
Yeah, actually still picked up. Nice read by Keris to be there with the flash, shield, and heal. It still isn't enough. And look at the top difference now. I have to feel like it's almost all because of Yubao's priority. And, you know, despite being down a small amount of CS in mid lane, it's more than paid for in this top matchup.
Oh, it's brutal. 43-16. I mean, you just hate to see it right now. And how does Relia find himself in a situation to climb out of this one, having had some phenomenal performances on the champions like, what, Fioras and Gwens, right? Resource heavy. Now you're playing a Gnar and you're thinking, I'm relegated to a Doran shield.
Yeah, let's look at the replay. So Yubao, with the Swifties and the water walking, gets up here so fast. And I also like pressuring in the river. You know, can go back to mid, but ultimately Rel here, he commits too far. And Keris, he's in the area, I believe. Yeah, got everything off, but it just wasn't enough. Rel here did go down to that auto at the end, Yubao. Very happy about that one.
Yeah, just the cheeky auto attack at the end there. Spelling disaster as a spell slinger. It's certainly a happy day. But yeah, I mean, what a way to start things off, right? Get your first blood, get your first roam successful gank. Obviously, first gank before that was pressure with flashes being burnt. Second resulting in a kill. And it does definitely feel like top lane is doomed. And now you've really got to ask Columnia, okay, what can you try and do to answer back to either stabilize the top lane or, you know, continue to impact this bot lane, which is, as you said, pushing ahead.
Yeah, I feel like Columnia might need to just play towards the bot side instead. I think top lane is well and truly doomed. I mean, look at Relia's items. He's even got the magic resist, which is, you know, sort of interesting because I feel like it's not really going to do anything for the lane, at least not for a while. Columnia, yeah, I guess he wants to try find something on bot lane, but right now PSG, they're starting on this dragon. S9 want to contest.
Ancient's Grasp goes out. Chain of Corruption is good as well. Will they steal it? No, they won't. Jinjir clean with the smite, confirm. Now just need to disengage away. Wako can Discaliber net across the wall. Yubao zoning back Columnia. Flash engage. Cyclone missed. And that's a massive opportunity gone to waste.
Yeah, wow. I think S9 would... Oh, actually, he gets rooted.
Their turnaround. No way. Fear. He's so lucky that the clone is back up and available. But my God, I mean, they're just flirting with danger.
Yeah, I mean, that was really close to being quite good for S9W. You know, very low health bars. But unfortunately, they don't quite pick it up, right? They lose the dragon, and they don't get any kills, which definitely sucks. And actually, really importantly, there's a lot of cooldowns we used, but Wako was left untouched. And so now can just continue to bully this lane. You can see kind of forcing YJY to just use his arrows to CS, which is never where you want to be at as a poke Varus, right? You want to pressure the lane, you want to use that Comet. But now just relegated to farming with E and Q. I mean, it definitely feels bad.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, Wako just has so much control of this lane, right? Can totally freeze this one out if he were to desire, but just slowly pushing it in. Kill confirming every CS to bridge the CS lead to what now? Plus 20, which feels phenomenal. And as you can see there from your total goal graph, no surprises that the top two are where we've had the most action in top and mid. So does really give Jinjir just free roam to do as he pleases, right? First Dragon now on redeploy back to the top side of the river and now looks at the Herald.
Herald will be picked up, just so much top priority. And for a little bit of context there, on that total gold graph, for just a moment, Ralhia was actually lower gold than Keres on there. He was the lowest gold in the game just for a moment.
Feels bad.
But let's take a look at the replay. So S9, I mean, they're pretty committed to contesting this. They've got level 6, but looks like a 1v1 starts on the side. Yubao, he gets like a lot of poke on the Columnia, makes it very difficult for him just to get into the fight uncontested. And I think Ari not being able to get the resets, definitely hurts. And then Yubao, really well played, instantly flashes the Cyclone and is just able to walk it out. There's a nice binding by Woody at the end, but yeah, the clone comes back up just barely in time. Oh my god, top lane. He's got the Mercs, but I'm not sure it helps your matchup at all at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, really, how do you find triage? I mean, it's like one of those cases of, you know, cutting off a limb to save the whole body, but still needs to find a way to, you know, hit Mega, land an ultimate, and pray that something can happen. But I mean, in terms of just matching a 1-for-1, if we are to go into a split pushing game, I mean, it's just going to be unfathomable, right? And I feel like Yubao doesn't even need to pop his head into top lane ever again. The job's already done.
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely a point in that lane where you are just too far behind to not bleed anymore, right? And it's really reached that point already where no matter what, you're going to be losing something. Only 42 CS at 11 minutes. And the thing is, obviously, Relia, he probably could have, you know, weak-sided a little better. But at the same time, though, Yubao's constant pressure from mid, it's made it difficult, right? It's not just on Relia.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, this Rise was given over, which I think was really questionable, right? Like we were saying it, the Rise, especially with a team like PSG that really knows how to use it. Yubao, he has no flash.
Tony could be in trouble right now. Talon Calumnia to land this charm. Misses the charm. Unbelievable. And the thumbs up once again from Yubao there. He's dodging left, dodging right, really putting the pressure on you, maybe even juking himself. They've been unable to find the moment, and it's not anywhere better here in the bot lane as well, as YJY completely on his own, zoned away from that turret. And I mean, this is what they're meant to do, right? They will just take plate after plate, and that turret may just start to fall down.
Yeah, I think the whole thing goes down here. And Yubao, I mean, constantly with his mechanics, just gets out of situations where he shouldn't. I think he should have died there if that charm, and honestly, I think the charm should have hit. It was so close. But doesn't quite get it. And now such a massive lead for Waco's Caitlyn. Kind of reminds me of the last game, actually. But this time, I think PSG probably will be able to close down. Also, this top lane, double the CS. I mean, this will definitely be a Flame Horizon in top at some point, I'm thinking.
I mean, just look how many plates as well, though. 7 already taken on the map. And I mean, at 12 minutes in, we're already, you know, so far ahead as a collective. It is just a game which has really demonstrated why the standings are what they are.
Yeah, now last time in this matchup, it took them 35 minutes, but PSG definitely not going to let that happen this time. They've snowballed themselves to a really nice gold lead already, and I think they can continue pressuring that forward. Jax actually has a completed Sundra up against Relia's Merc Treads. Does feel pretty bad.
Yeah, up against a little axe. A fully completed Mythic at 13 minutes, right on pace. This shows just how strong PSG are, with 3 of them to their name. It's a phenomenal feat as to just how strong this early game has been played on out from. And I mean, you hate to, from a commentating standpoint, you know, write off a team this early on, but it is a really rough spot that you obviously have to advise those watching as to what we're seeing. But I am curious to see how S9 can try and rally on through, what they can try and do here to find some way out.
Yeah, Carries, I think he almost, I'm not even sure who caught who there. He was hiding in the bush for a while, comes out and tethers him, but is forced to flash straight away. And S9, they committed a lot of members up there to try and kill Waco as he swapped topside, but didn't find the window. And now, you know, Aja, he just comes down here, can get the dragon. And PSG just winning all across the map right now, winning just all the lanes, getting all the objectives. Could actually be a perfect game.
Possibly. Yeah, at the moment it certainly is. Let's see if it is to be that, in fact, eventuality. Here we go then, Nature's Grasp. There is the route, and there is the disengage way. Laser actually splashing onto 2, dashing across the wall as Calumnia. Burning and bleeding, but ultimately still surviving. PSG, yeah, just showing them. You may fall on down next time that happens.
Yeah, he gets forced very low, but now Calumnia forced to base. He actually goes for the Everfrost. Now S9, they're getting pushed off this tower. Ginger goes for it.
Yeah, locked in place by the Twisted Advance. Sapling is there, empowered by the bush as well. In comes Yubao. Hello, surprise, surprise. This time you are dead. We gave you a chance before. We said you could go back to base, but you've stuck around, and we can't allow that to happen twice in a row. So a turret falls down, kills are found, and it feels criminal, right? 15 minutes in, we've only had 2 kills.
Yeah, 2 kills, but a 6,000 gold lead. I mean, massive CS leads in all 3 lanes right now, especially top lane. And just so many plates given over already. And I think, yeah, S9, they're going to have a rough time coming back into this one, right? I feel like you have to make picks, but right now, all 5 PSG members have Flash. As well as, like, honestly being pretty tanky, right? It's going to be hard to find someone. I think when at this point, you know, you've got to try and make a pick maybe on the mid wave when Waco is trying to siege it. At the same time, though, with both these top towers or side lane towers knocked down, YJY could be in trouble. Does not have cleanse.
Yeah, so he's forced to hit the Chain of Corruption. They're just trading out CC right now, but Yubao has got the movement. He's got the speed. Oh, no, he's missed one Q. Walks into the bush. He is the auto king. Somehow always managed to last hit them with that. Just treating these champions like they're minions.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult from S9. They just have no control anywhere. They are trying to trade something on the bot tower, but it's only going to be gold onto the Gnar and the Ahri, which I think, honestly, neither of which are going to be able to carry the game. And it's not like they're not losing anything for it, right? They lost mid tower. They're about to lose damage on top tower too, and potentially their tier 2 mid. I'm not even sure if this is good for S9. It feels like maybe it's all you can do, but I think it's still losing out overall.
Yeah, it's such a rough predicament, though, as to how do they approach this, right? Because once again, there's carriage, just one shot on your screen. You didn't even need to commentate it. It was just a done deal as you witnessed it. Another turret falls on down. The Herald is going to find a second hit, but it looks to be, especially now that the ult goes out to zone them away. And that's an inhibitor opened up at, well, 17 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, the one saving grace for S9 is they got the bot tower, so it's no longer a perfect game. But it wasn't a worthy trade. They're now down 9,000 gold at 17 minutes. Down 2 dragons as well. Open inhib. It's not looking good.
No, and I think really you're looking, if we are playing devil's advocate here, you know, right, what would be the window back into this game here for S9? It would be punishing some overzealous move by a PSG member, right? Looking to try and become, you know, a montage maker, right? Wanting to try and create an individual top 5 play, or, you know, getting a little bit too greedy around an objective with their positioning, getting a little bit lax, and then, you know, somebody like Calumnia, once again, comes in with the smite steal, with the unsealed spell. But there's windows, but the percentage, very slim.
Yeah, I think you're kind of praying for a Gnar into the fountain or something at this point. You need a lot of extra damage. I'm not sure we're going to get a regular team fight win. But they're looking for something. Yeah, don't quite find it. I mean, honestly, I admire the attempt. You know, despite the fact that they are... I'm not even sure they realize how far behind they are, actually, because, you know, like you said, there's only a few kills. But the gold lead is pretty significant.
Yeah, it must be tough, you know, when you tab check to see the item scoreboard and say, well, you know, we're here and they're there, but doesn't feel that way. They're still taking stabs in the dark as if they are on a fairly even playing field. They know they're behind, right? You certainly would from 6 towers down to 1, but maybe not to the extent that they found themselves in here. And Yubao's going to remind them why they are so strong and why this game is what it is, which was all about this man on your screen. Just so many roams that Calumnius, well, resigned himself to a tower death.
Well, it's better than nothing. And actually, I'm not sure if S9 have been ahead at a single point in this game. If you actually remember, Yubao picked up that ward at level 1 before minions spawned.
You called GG?
And, yeah, I mean, since then, it's
you are the prophet.
Unassailable gold lead. They're now so far ahead. Coming up on 10k. Third dragon will be secured here at just 19 minutes. I think they're going to beat their 35-minute record versus S9 before.
Yeah, it's certainly on course for that right now. It's a question really is how do PSG want to do it, right? Do they want to close this one out in a very systematic fashion, go for the soul point, go for the Baron, go for the win based off that? Or are they just going to find one more team fight and with that just run straight through mid?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Will they just go the Baron, or will they just team fight and win? I feel like you might not even need Baron to end the game at this point. They're just that far ahead. Relhi has actually managed to close the CS gap, but I think it's mainly been because he was kind of strong-sided for a lot of this. And sure, like, you close that gap, but is it enough that you're going to start winning in the side lane? I'd say probably not, right? And that means that despite the fact that you've put so many resources there, you still kind of lack the strength to do anything Also worth noting, Yubao picks up the QSS, so really not taking any chances. Wants to be able to just play as aggressive as possible and not be punished at all.
I mean, just look how fast he goes, right? With the phase rush and the boost of Swifty. He's really going to square them up for a second. Actually, flash Nar into the wall. It's just a Maokai. He's trying to do it all on his own. In goes Calumnia, and they say, let's get this target. But then Wako snipes away Aurelia. Calumnia falls on down as well. Jinjia does not have the perfect game himself, as Fear takes him out of the equation. But ultimately, it's a team fight. It's a scrappy one. It's a bit of a skirmish more than anything. And they might say, that's not enough to end the game, so let's just guarantee it now with that Baron.
Yeah, and I think they're actually even going to go for more. I think Yubao doesn't even need to come to this Baron. Could potentially take him red or something as well. So just getting absolutely everything here is PSG pulling further and further ahead. I mean, there really just isn't. I don't think there's a way for S9, unfortunately. They're just so far behind at this point. And also outdrafted. It sucks, right? Because you don't, like you were saying, you don't want to just write them off, but I don't see it. Taking a look at the replay, though. So they finally engage on the Ginger, but I feel like it just doesn't really matter, right? Like, I think Maokai gets off all his cooldowns anyway, right? You've got the saplings down, you get the ult off. Even if you go down at this point, Yubao's full HP, Wako's full HP. So it's just, the carries are pretty much untouched. And yeah, there's just no way. I think maybe if Relia had found that engage on the Wako, potentially they could have won a fight, or at least kind of, you know, won it enough that they couldn't do Baron afterwards. But yeah, I mean, you see here, despite dying extremely early, Ginger's still done, you know, very high damage, right? And that's just because Maokai is one of those champs that can just get off their cooldowns, then it doesn't really matter too much if they die after that. Yeah,
you cycle your cooldowns, you get the sapling and the bush with the Demonic Embrace build as well, and that's a lot of damage that certainly will add up, right? So I don't think he's going to be too hard done by the fact that he will be the only death in this game so far for PSG, but they've got the Baron now, and they have it for another minute 50, so they've got plenty of time to work with, as two members of S9 were looking to try and push up the top side, at least try and prevent them from having a free lane crash. Mid obviously was exposed at the 17-minute mark, so Jax is going to take care of that one as they look to take two inhibitors at the same time.
Yeah, I think they can go both. I actually wonder if they just want to play for the end. I mean, they have enough minions. They certainly have strong engage. Will they play it safe? Oh, okay, they're actually rise ulting for the top inhib. I love that. They actually have the creeps. So they're just going to break 3 inhibs here.
Yeah.
West 9, perhaps they want to engage.
Playing a little bit passionately. Oh, Calumnia tried. He's flashed it, missed the charm, gone golden, and even missed the Everfrost. He's going to come out of that one and get absolutely lighted up by that Lux ultimate. And, well, they've tried. They've tried to do something there at the very end. You have to be at least proud for the attempt. But it's a triple inhibitor, and it is a base that is in complete ruin.
Yeah, I think S9, they can maybe delay it by a few more seconds, like playing tower defense at this point. But there's really just no hope of them picking up this win.
No, it's not to be the case. It won't be the quickest game, but it's the quickest game we've had here tonight, to say the least. It's been PSG dominance from start to finish.
Oh, wow. I mean, that was a very clean game. And I think, again, you really saw Yubao on the rise, really knows how to use that priority to move to other lanes, right? He's pretty much single-handedly made top lane unplayable with his presence alone. I really question, I think the draft, I mean, honestly, PSG, they're a lot better than S9, so perhaps the draft wouldn't have mattered, in all honesty. But I do think giving Yubao the rise when he's shown, you know, that level of proficiency on it, not just on the champion, but in terms of, like, what you can do on the map with it, I think is really questionable. And I also think, yeah, I just don't really like giving over the Maokai either. Just think S9, they try to get a little bit creative with it. Honestly, it just doesn't really